briefly.
Which subject? Yesterday's subject, no?
Sir, yesterday, because due to again of this technical error, we cannot rejoin.
Yes.
Yes, sir, please. 311A actually we are discussing yesterday.
Yes.
Please.
Yesterday we tried to observe section 73, but due to some technical problem, 73 was not complete. So today, once again, we will go through the provisions of section 73. And you know that it is necessary to read word to word while understanding any provision. The same is here. Though yesterday we have gone through heading of this section and first two lines, but once again it is necessary to go through it. Comparison is the basic theme behind this section. Comparison of signature, comparison of writing, comparison of seal with others, either admitted or proved. These are the two aspects.
Sir,
either admitted or compare.
Sir, actually, sir, I want to discuss a point on this particular platform. As now we are looking from the various angles, we are looking at that section basically. Actually, I want you to guide us on an aspect that when the word use a comparison comes in that particular section. So, sir, when does it can be understood as a comparison and forming an opinion equivalent to judicial kind of an officer on that particular aspect. When he compare the two things, that will be with conclusion, because without conclusion, the comparison will be futile exercise. So then, whatever the result which he may have happened after the comparison, can be termed it as a application of a judicial mind on that particular aspect, or what we can.
I'm coming to the point because it is necessary to go through one by one. First of all, section 73, and then section 311 capital A, and then section 45. So this is the way to read so far as this aspect is concerned. So far as theory and academic discussion of the subject which you discussed day before yesterday and yesterday, though technicalities are discussed by you, but as you requested me to say about theory, so far as theory as well as academic discussion also necessary, so far as law point is concerned. So these three sections are necessary to be read once again by this angle, by academic angle. So in order to ascertain, so first, as just you asked me the question, your question is relating with the word ascertain, ascertainment. How to ascertain and what to do for such ascertainment. In order to ascertain, now the question is asked by the section itself, whether a signature, whether a writing, or whether seal is that of the person. Now, who is the person? By whom? It purports to have been written. So, purport having its own significance. Purports to have been written. Ascertain that whether it is purports to have been written. So, combination or reading of these two words, ascertainment and purports to, because right now it is not clear. It is ambiguous. It is under inspection. So, word purports to have been written or made, either written or made by any signature, any writing, or any seal. Now, see, three aspects are here: signature, writing, seal, either admitted or proved. Admitted by the party against whom it is necessary to be used, or proved by the other party that this handwriting is that of the person. This seal is that of the person. This signature is that of the person, either admitted or proved to the satisfaction of the court. So admitted to the satisfaction of the court, proved to the satisfaction of the court, to have been written or made by that person. Now comparison. May be compared with the one. May be compared with the one to whom which is to be proved. Although that signature, writing or seal has not been produced or proved for any other purpose. So very simple language is used insofar as the first pair of this section. Comparison is necessary. Comparison with proved items or admitted items. Proved signature, proved handwriting, proved seal. Admitted signature, admitted handwriting, admitted seal. And for this purpose, specimen is necessary, and this section says about specimen. Now see, second part. The court may direct, but prior to second part, we know that it is necessary to go with first part. So first section, so subsection 1, paragraph number 1, now paragraph number 2. And paragraph number 2 having concern with 311 capital A so far as procedure is concerned. In fact, procedure is itself given in this second paragraph. Now see the second paragraph. The court may direct any person present in court to write any words or figures for the purpose of enabling the court to compare the words or figures so written with any words or figures alleged to have been written by such person. And third, this section applies also with the necessary modifications to finger impressions. So once again, we have to see why this section is in three paragraphs. What first paragraph says and expects, what second paragraph says and expects, and what is mentioned in the third paragraph, though it is of a single line. So far as finger impressions are concerned. So first paragraph, once again, in order to ascertain whether a signature, writing or seal is that of the person by whom it purports to have been written or made. This question is before the court. To solve it, any signature, writing or seal, either admitted or proved, to the satisfaction of the court to have been written or made by that person may be compared with, आवाज कसला येतो मध्ये? May be compared with the one which is to be proved, although that signature, writing or seal has been produced. Now, so far as the last line is concerned, please leave the last line. Although that signature, writing or seal has not been produced or proved for any other purpose. We have no concern with this line so far as our discussion is concerned. Concern of this line whenever the situation is there, and obviously the situations are there in every case. And for clarification, legislature has mentioned that although that signature, writing or seal has not been produced or proved for any other purpose, or any other purpose is a different aspect. Now, second aspect is concerned, practical aspect is concerned. The court may direct any person present in court to write any words or figures. No, writing any words or figures. Kasha karta? For the purpose of enabling the court to compare the words or figures so written with any words or figures alleged to have been written by such person. After writing of the words or figures, court itself compare it, or court may forward it under section 45 to the expert. This section applies also with any necessary modification to finger impressions. So finger impressions also, as you mentioned yesterday, as per Maharashtra Police Manual, 6 signatures and 6 thumb impressions or finger impressions on each paper. And now at the same time, it is necessary to go with section 311 of CRPC. Now, prior to go with section 311 of CRPC, it is necessary to understand why section 311 capital A is inserted. When Section 73 of Indian Evidence Act is already here. Then what is the reason behind insertion of 311 capital A? And for that purpose, one should go through State of Uttar Pradesh versus Ram Babu Mishra. This judgment is reported in AIR 1980 Supreme Court page number 791. This judgment. Now this judgment is based on the Prisoners Act. And if you are referring books of professional, because I am referring book of professional, the professional book is with me. The Amendment Act 2005, the purpose of the legislature is given here. I am reading this paragraph. The Supreme Court in State of UP versus Ram Babu Mishra suggested that a suitable legislation be made on the analogy of Section 5 of the Identification of Prisoners Act 1980 to provide for the investor of magistrates with powers to issue directions to any person, including an accused person, to give specimens, signatures and handwriting. A new Section 311 capital A is according being inserted in this code. And now what this section says. Now heading of this section, power of magistrate to order person to give specimen, signatures or handwriting. Now see the second, just we have gone through second para of section 73. The language or the expectation we mentioned there, and so far as the expectation of this section and language used in this section. So, and the procedure also used in this section. Though second para is of section 73 is of Indian Evidence Act, that is also a procedure. Same thing is here, or similar situation is here. If a magistrate of the first class is satisfied that for the purposes of any investigation or proceeding under this code. Now we have to ascertain that this section is for magistrate. If a magistrate of the first class is satisfied that for the purposes of any investigation or proceeding under this code. So two aspects are here. Purpose of any investigation or proceeding under this code. Needless to say that investigation is defined by CRPC. Procedure under this code means entire CRPC, so far as procedural aspect is concerned. It is, now the understand the word or the meaning of the expedient to direct any person. For what purpose? Including an accused person. For what purpose? To give specimen signatures or specimen handwriting. Specimen signatures or specimen handwriting. He may make an order to that effect. Court may make an order, the magistrate may make an order to that effect, and in that case, the person to whom the order relates shall be produced or shall attend at the time and place specified in such order, and shall give his specimen signature or handwriting. So far as this section is concerned, it is necessary to go with section 73. That's why we commence section 73 so far as comparison, because comparison word is specifically, very specifically used in section 73. Now it is necessary to see that whether the word or whether the purpose is used here, whether the purpose of comparison is mentioned in section 311. So I am reading it once again. If a magistrate of the first class is satisfied that for the purposes of any investigation or proceeding under this code, it is expedient to direct any person, including an accused person, to give specimen signatures or handwriting. He may make an order to that effect, and in that case, the person to whom the order relates shall be produced or shall attend at the time and place specified in such order, and shall give his specimen signature or handwriting. So far as word produced is concerned, just consider section 267, section 266 and section 267. produced. If accused is here, if accused is there, and if accused is in the custody of jailer, then it is necessary to go through section 266 and take section 267 of CRPC. I am reading it once again. If a magistrate of the first class is satisfied that for the purposes of any investigation or proceeding under this code, it is expedient to direct any person, including an accused person, to give specimen signatures or handwriting, he may make an order to that effect, and in that case, the person to whom the order relates shall be produced and shall attend at the time and place specified in such order, and shall give his specimen signature or handwriting. Now see, here in this section, so far as these 4 or 5 lines are concerned, nowhere any word regarding comparison, or nowhere the specific purpose for comparison is mentioned here. So necessary to go through section 73. Reader shall have to go through both the sections. Now proviso, though it is mentioned here, proviso says, provided that no order shall be made under this section unless the person has sometime been arrested in connection with such investigation or proceeding. So this is the condition. If the person is an accused, then no order shall be made under this section unless the person has at some time been arrested in connection with such investigation or proceeding. Now, obviously, the question in the mind of various readers that why this provision? To understand the gamut behind section 311 capital A, one has to go through state of UP versus Ram Babu Mishra, because the directions are given by this judgment in the year 1980, and reflection of those directions inserted by way of section 311 capital A in CRPC, and this section is inserted by the Criminal Law Amendment, the Code of Criminal Procedure Amendment Act 2005, section 27 of that act. So according to section 311 capital A, court may receive specimen handwriting and specimen signature. This is the only procedure given in section 311 capital A. So far as comparison is concerned, recourse given by section 73. And needless to say, because day before yesterday you have gone through section 45. Section 45 is for expert. The court may itself, or if the issue is under investigation, needless to say that the investigating agency may refer the documents, may refer the admitted documents, specimen handwriting, specimen signature, or specimen finger marks, and question documents, question handwriting, question signature, question fingerprints to the experts. And needless to say that the experts are given by section 45 so far as Indian Evidence Act is concerned, and their reports are given by section 293 of CRPC, 293 of CRPC subsection 4. There are various government scientific experts are given, and these experts also given. Now necessary to see that as this issue is here, whether handwriting expert is given in section 293. Handwriting expert, because handwriting expert is different and fingerprint expert is different. Okay, so necessary to see. Now I am requesting all my brothers and sisters also that please apply your mind, and whenever you are here, though anybody is here, if then you have to go through the books, because at the same time you may listen me as well as any of the speaker, but at the same time the book should be with us. Section 293 subsection 4. This section applies to the following government scientific experts, namely any chemical examiner or assistant chemical examiner to government, the chief controller of explosives, the director of the fingerprint bureau, the director Hafkin Institute Bombay, the director, deputy director or assistant director of a central forensic science laboratory or a state forensic science laboratory, the serologist to the government, Now, so far as G is concerned, please apply your mind. Any other government scientific expert specified by notification by the central government for this purpose. So one should know subsection 4 A to F, and at the same time we shall have to collect the government notifications so far as small g is concerned. As far as subsection 4 is concerned, it seems that if any notification under subclause G, then it's okay. But if no notification to that regard, as the handwriting expert is not mentioned in A, B, C, D, E, F, then whenever report of handwriting expert is along with the charge sheet, then it is necessary for the prosecutor concerned to call the handwriting expert to prove report, not only report, but while conducting chief examination, how to conduct chief examination. Needless to say that first of all you have to ask him the question that how he is an expert, how many years he having experience, what type of degree he possesses. And this practice is not only this expert. Medical officer is in witness box, same situation is, because there is one judgment. If I am not wrong, Dinkar Sukhdev Damle versus State of Maharashtra. If I am not wrong, the judgment is Asavati. Dinkar Sukhdev Damle. I will request all my brothers and sisters that please go through the judgment. But there is one judgment. Dinkar Sukhdev Damle, State of Maharashtra, please go through judgment. Directions given by Honorable Bombay High Court that whenever any expert is in witness box, it is necessary for the public prosecutor, assistant public prosecutor, that to ask him that how he is expert. The first pair of the chief examination must have been how he is expert, how many years he having experience, how many cases he deal with, and then you may start chief examination. Same thing is it. Now, sometimes accused objected to give exhibit number. They want to cross-examine the expert, though the expert comes in the ambit of section 293 subsection 4 A to F. At this juncture, if honorable court call the person, or if any application by the prosecutor, then prosecutor will submit application to call the expert, may examine the expert. So this is the academic discussion so far as present situation is concerned. I am summing my academic discussion by stating that section 73 is for comparison, and as per section 73, court may compare it himself or may refer the documents to handwriting expert. Now, so far as investigation is concerned, investigating officer is investigating agency referring the documents, and we know various times such documents are produced. At that time, first of all, necessary to go through the carbon copy of the report by which those documents are referred to the expert. It is our duty, please go through the carbon copy of the report. Please go through the outward number, date, name of the police station, the report by the concerned investigating officer along with the signature of his senior to the handwriting expert. Please observe that carbon copy to understand, to ascertain that how many documents are seized. First of all, seized under Panchanama, go through the Panchanama, then the documents are forwarded and go through the questionnaire. Go through the questions. Please go through the question that not only a handwriting expert, any expert. If ballistic expert, same situation is there. Please see the questions which were asked by the investigating officer to the expert, and then go through the report whether the questions are satisfied and what answers are given to or with regard to those questions. 73 is for comparison. Court may compare first para, then court may ask the person to give specimen, second paragraph. Same situation is for thumb impression. Section 311 capital A is a pure procedure. So far as proviso is concerned, that proviso says that unless and until the accused is arrested, there is no question of direction to the accused for giving signature so far as section 311 capital A is concerned. Now, question in my mind, when after section 3, after reading of section 311 capital A, when that section was inserted. Though the proviso is given below section 311 capital A, but no any proviso or no any embargo to that regard is with section 73 so far as Indian Evidence Act is concerned. Whether Indian Evidence Act is other than the accused, no. I'm going to read it once again. Section 73 Indian Evidence Act. In order to ascertain whether a signature, handwriting or seal is that of the person by whom is purposed to have been written or made, any signature, writing or seal admitted or proved to the satisfaction of the court to have been written or made by that person may be compared with the one which is to be proved, although that signature, handwriting or seal has not been produced or proved for any other purpose. So far as any person is concerned, accused also expected so far as section 73 is concerned. And question in my mind, since years together, I have to find out any judgment, or please help me if in judgment you came across, please give me the judgment that though any proviso is not in under section 73 or no, it is not mentioned in section 73, but it is mentioned in section 3 capital A. So if specimen, signature or handwriting is of accused is necessary, and if the accused is not arrested, then whether the procedure is, then there is a bar to the procedure of section 311 capital A, whether the proviso will be an embargo to section 73 of CRPC. And I know that we have to go through interpretation of statutes also to understand or to ascertain this question, to find out the answer of this question. So I will request all my brothers and sisters, please go through this angle also. So friends, necessary, we discussed section 73. I know that there are judgments. Right now I have judgments, but I feel, first of all, I feel that we have to focus on each and every word of these three provisions. In fact, 4 provisions: 73 of Indian Evidence Act, 311 capital A of CRPC, 293 of subsection 4 of CRPC, and once again section 45 of Indian Evidence Act, and by a different way section 46 also Indian Evidence Act. And maybe day before yesterday I have clearly mentioned, whenever there is a question regarding section 46, then section 11 of Indian Evidence Act, section 6 of Indian Evidence Act, and first paragraph of section 136 of Indian Evidence Act. These are the provisions necessary to read. Thank you. If any question in the mind of any of the participants, may ask me as well as Mr. APP Khade also.
Thank you very much, sir. Actually, this type of explanation because actually my lecture has been tracked out from that particular issue, because as I'm very much concentrating upon the basically identity of over there, because when we go from in National Institute of Criminology and Forensic Science, Delhi, usually we see the big of experts over there. Though there are many experts over there, but there is a dilemma that how they are being treated with the court, and how though they know some real material about the case or good evidence, but how because of some, what we can say, illiteracy regarding the subject, some advocates are not utilizing optimum of their particular thing, and the things going to happen. So actually my perspective was from that point of angle, that everyone of us should at least know that how does basically expert work on that particular aspect, and actually what we should actually know, what to ask him as a witness box. As actually mentioned by you, in a Damles case, there is a proper prescription of a line of questions that will be asked with the experts. So even in this jurisprudence book, there is also a tentative questionnaires that how expert actually is expected to talk before the court. Even there is some guidelines of regarding the medical legal cases handlings, and the guidelines medical legal issued by Indian Medical Council. So there is also an SOP or some pattern has been mentioned over there regarding that, basically how a doctor when he go to the court should behave himself with that particular thing, how he should appear before the court, what basically he is ought to find before the court. So all these guidelines are there with the Indian medical councils issued with the medical legal cases for that purpose, sir. So as we are running out of the time, so I will not start my next topic because it's just hardly 2 minutes are remaining for that. But yes, sir, rightly guided by you. Naturally, the practical and theoretical aspect should go hand in hand in this particular purpose, because as we know, jurists or the judges are naturally knows the language of a law better. So naturally, one cannot convince them from the mentality of an expert or some other scientific